Good morning.
Good morning.
I wanted to start off with saying that my mom reached out to my sister and me, asking if one of us would speak about the Civil Rights Movement in Selma, Alabama, for Black History Month from our perspective, based upon what we knew from my grandfather, James Gildersleeve. He was deeply involved in the movement during the 60s and beyond, and to be honest, I struggled with what to share today to make this talk meaningful. I decided to take on the challenge, and here we are. As I reflected on the topic and reminisced about my grandfather, the stories he told and the experiences I had as the granddaughter of a civil rights icon, I remembered a question he once asked me: Shay, are you going to be great and make an impact like your granddaddy? Without hesitation, I answered, yes, granddaddy, I will be just like you. At the time, I didn't really understand the weight of the question, but now I do. As I prepared for this speech, the Holy Spirit spoke to me and said, speak on the mantle. Webster's dictionary defines a mantle as a figurative cloak symbolizing preeminence or authority. As in the phrase, she accepted the mantle of leadership. Now I understand my grandfather wasn't just asking me a question, he was passing the mantle. He was entrusting his descendants, including me, with the responsibility to continue his fight for justice and equality. My grandfather shared many stories about his activism, stories that shaped my understanding of courage. He told us how he was dragged from the county courthouse while protesting for Black Americans' right to vote, a moment captured on national television. He spoke of being one of the first Black Americans to integrate the Selma Public Library, bringing my mother along so she could experience the simple joy of checking out books, a right denied to Black children. He recalled the threatening phone calls that came to their home, calls my grandmother, aunt, and mother sometimes overheard. These calls were meant to intimidate him, to silence him, but he refused to back down. One of the most chilling stories he told was about standing outside Brown Chapel AME Church, a historic hub for the movement, when a group of white men approached him and threw a snake around his neck. Can you imagine that? Even after enduring these horrific encounters, my grandfather stood firm. He risked his life for justice, not just for himself, but for his family, his community, and generations to come. Many were not as fortunate, though. Some lost their lives fighting for the freedoms that our Constitution explicitly states we have, freedoms they were denied simply because of the color of their skin. Now, 60 years after the Selma movement, history is repeating itself. With the stroke of a pen, laws protecting equality, laws born from the blood, sweat, and sacrifice of civil rights leaders like my grandfather and Dr. King are being rolled back by the current administration. The Civil Rights Act of 1965, equal opportunity laws, and the very ideals they risk their lives to secure are being under attack. The German philosopher George Hegel once said, the one thing that we learn from history is that we learn nothing from history. We are watching this truth unfold as hard-fought rights are being chipped away and the same battles of the past threaten to resurface. But we cannot allow history to repeat itself. We are all called to take up the mantle, to stand firm in the face of injustice, to break the cycle of oppression, and to build a future where equality is not just an ideal, it's a reality. Carrying this mantle means responsibility, embracing responsibility. It means choosing unity over division, progress over complacency. It means standing up even when it's uncomfortable, even when it's dangerous, even when we're afraid. Each of us holds the power to create change, and together we can build a legacy of wisdom, resilience, and a hope for generations to come. So today, I leave you with this question, the same one my grandfather asked me. Are you going to be great and make an impact? Because the mantle has been passed and it's in our hands now. Thank you.